of Eswatini, well known for its beautiful scenery, the wildlife, the vegetation, rivers, waterfalls, and the diversity of its people that are deeply rooted in their culture and religion, well known for being deeply rooted in being humble, kind, caring, and welcoming. However, there are still some people from these people of Eswatini, rather different communities and societies, that feel as though they are oppressed and actually not getting the privilege of being themselves in their societies. These people are the LGBTI community, and we have embarked with Helpless for Men with the help of Frontline Aid to go on a journey to interview these people on their daily lives, in their lifestyles, in their natural habitats, to see their challenges, their experiences and reactions that they get from society. So today on this show, I will be inviting you to come on a journey with me where we are going to interview them and see what they go through on a day-to-day basis. Zwagal.
So now, please join us as we go down the hill to Manzini to visit one of our interviewees, David. David is a gay man who has been living in Manzini for most of his life. The questions that we are going to ask him are questions that have been asked on the streets, on social media platforms, but none of these have actually been scripted because none has actually been on record. So we are going to be asking him questions with expectations of answers that are as raw as possible. And I cannot wait to see what he has got to say.
Hey Saki.
Hi David, good luck.
Okay, yourself.
Ngiyaphila now.
Thank you.
Sesikhona. Can I come in?
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. Thank you, ngiyabonga ukumukela David endlini yakho, but can I take off my mask?
Yeah, please do so.
Okay, all right. Thank you. But the distance is quite
Yeah.
fine. All right. Siyabonga kakhulu kusemukela David. Lokho sesilana njengoba besikutshelile ukuthi sitawufika. But nginemibuto lenginayo eminengi, but singakafiki le mibuto leyo ngicela kwathi ukuthi David ngubani? Like you as a person before we identify you or categorize you. Ungubani wena David?
Okay, David njoba usho, and my nickname name is Bongani. Masego, and ekhaya kusenhlambeni khona la kaManzini. Lapha kaShali. Kambane ngosimatatazela ngangikhulela khona. So ngimuntu nje okhula khona kaManzini.
Ukhule khona kaManzini.
Yeah, ngana ngikutalwa nekuphila nje le region kaManzini. So I just grew up like every other young man. Yeah.
Okay.
David le Swati futhi ngokaMaseko. Kamaseko kune history learning lekhona ngabo eSwatini siyathi ukuthi bantu bangali kula makhanza ambili abantu abakhandwa kule live, so sinjalo ke ngikhula nje ekhaya le ma principles ukuthi sibaka Maseko, you know, mangcamane kuthi yeah.
Okay, but from le nguvako ungitshela kona nyalo ngiva invota lekhulele kaManzini, ngiva invota kaMaseko kukhuluma ngcamane la before we get to anything khuluma likhanzambili.
Yeah.
Kukhuluma umuntu wemango ngacishe ngithi mhlambe ngumsindisi wekumila kwala kaManzini.
Of course, yeah.
But then now you have actually come out as in you are now openly gay. And
yeah.
My first question there would be, sesiyakwazi ukuthi okay, ukhona ngcamane, ukhona Maseko, nalikhanzambili, but you are a gay man. What have been your experiences as a gay man nje eSwatini kaManzini la utalelwe khona nala uphila khona emphakathini?
Okay, so ngiyabonga Sakhile, ngicabanga ukuthi angicane nje sikena coming out as a gay man involve ama stages lamaningi.
Okay.
Because it's sikhuluma kusinaphila society noma constituency ngenkundleni lophila kiyo awuphile nje kuphela uwala kaMaseko, but ubelonga ngeSiswati kuthiwa abantu benkosi, ubelonga somewhere, you belong to a community, you belong to the neighbors, you put an image for lo mmango lokhula kiwo. Nakuthiwa nje mhlawumbe eninginkundla, but kuneti igoti la mhlawumbe kunashali, kunabani bani, nehlukahlukana kwakhona. So basikhuluma about you as-Sakhile and your behaviors affect nje wena and your family ngoba unabo la ndlini, but it's coming about something that has got an impact to the neighbors, that puts an image to the community lo mmango losukiwo before sifike nje esifundzeni because ngamanzini lana. So for me I would say kuqala back to a family, because sonke sidala simajani nje sibelonga emndenini Sakhile, uyathi ukuthi emndenini sikhuluma kuthi sidalwa abatali, kunebatali batali. Mina-ke futhi senhlahla lenhle ngidalwa futhi nabatali abakholwako, labantu nema-religious beliefs abakholelwa esontweni. So labati ngokuthini ukuthi hamba kanjena ngenthando yaNkulunkulu. So lama-beliefs awo eMaswati ongeke futhi washintshe kiwo. Swaziland watiwa njengelive elikholwako. So dealing Timothy 8 besithanza bese sifaka sichanele ngale ngcubo yekukholwa. So uyasibuka lesimo ukuthi nangicala kuma out kwabita sengidile kuqala ne family at home ukuthi I'm coming out as someone different. Was ekhaya bangibuka njenga David lomunye. Ngathi uyakuva yini Mahlalelo?
Ngiyakuva lokho. Okay, so now you are coming out ekhaya sebayakubona. Okay, nangu David lana sesimdalile, but so ufike uhluka nganako. Umbuto wami ula ekuthenini sibakushilo lokho bakuthatha kanjani? Because ngiyanderstand ukuthi lemva iqala ekhaya itemangweni bese iyanza nalo mhlambeni wonke. But lo mbuto wami ula ekuthenini la khaya khona, how was the reception? Ema-reactions and nema-experiences zakho yini lokukhanze mhlambe ukuthi ngalokhu sebatile lokhu, now that they had this information available to them, what were their reactions and how did they respond to
Okay,
it?
so give Mahlalelo the coming out. I always say people would hardly believe it. It was not a choice. There are some situations that put you to a corner whereby you need just to come out and ube straight. How do you feel? So for me, it was from church back home. So it was a vis-a-vis whereby it's a church that they discover sexuality, then they inform your family, or they then inform your parents, like say, yathi David lana sibona ngathi khona lokhu kanje lokwenteka ukuye. Asanimkhulumisa as a family, or leyo make is part of, by then make was part of the church elders. So it was more so important. Of course nami by then bengidlala role emqoqweni, so that's why beba ngathi kukahle kuthi bamatisi bamthize bamtshele manje athi khona sikunakako. And lokunaka kwabo, I think it was a matter of nasikhula abantu abashala abanye basaqala kunakadini for ngesikhathi engiphuma ngaso out bekusikhathi whereby HB committee was starting to be visible.
Okay.
Bantu basaqala nje kuphuma out ukuthi ba kanjani. I think one of us mix some dots and wakhulumisa umfundisi wangibita ngihlala phansi wangitshela ukuthi ukuthi sibona lokho ngawe. And nakasho ukuthi ubona lokho bengadi Mahlalelo singifila kanjani, but just that kunala moment when you are gay kubitwa ngi self stigma whereby wena wedwana udila nalento uyeva ukuthi ngifila different. But ngikhula kunalikhaya la kaDlamini kaDlamini kunati imfundiso nathi kubeke babe namake babe uze adlale asho sikena hawe bona namfana wami wena ngifuna nje ukuthi na uthatha umfati uthatha nomfati wakaDlamini nomthatha umfati lofunzile because uyabona kusona engqondo. So lenko leto tifaka something mathoughts ezukhula kuyakuchalela ukuthi wena awukhula la khaya kafisha nebubhekeke ukuthi ube nemfati kusasa. So nakubuya lenza bathi suke sekubuya back umntali yakhuluma simaye kwamdepressa, she was frustrated, she wangishayela ucingo wafuna ukungibona ngihamba ngaye ekhaya. Nangifika ekhaya wangakhona ukukhuluma ngakho, wathi nje awudle nesontweni kwendekani because wasangikhulumisa umfundisi wangitshela sokhulume nabatali, so ngaba reluctant. I think the first 2 weeks bengiworried ukuthi try go should I not go. So ngeqa amaviki amabili and ngaphisa ngabuya on the third week, but lo 2 weeks make was worried wangibita kanti bengathi ukuthi uyathi but wangibuthi what I thought she should ask me. So after that, she started telling she told what and one of my brothers, the pastor. So who are more complicated in the family now. This is how they see things. Why are you changing from the good David that we know? Since you are losing it somewhere. There's a lot that we're looking up to. People are looking up to you. When you're a youth leader, people are looking up to you.
Yes.
So a lot of people are depending on you. A lot of people are looking at you with I just want to be like him.
Yes.
But people didn't know that I'm different. They want to be like me, but there was something. I'm not sure something different. Maybe I'm saying, maybe something like special ngami, because bengifila ngekwehluka nayindlela abanye abantu besilisa bafila ngayo. So babuye ekhaya sebengidileke emahlelweni lo nendo yokuthi yes noma no, ngoba sengiyabuta ukuthi sinayindzaba la iyavakala la ngaphandle ukuthi walibandla lithi nabantu abacaba ekhuluma la ngaphandle kwenteka lokho. So it was hard, but I had to be honest with them ukuthi kuqiniso lokho lenikuvako. Ngiyacabanga nje mahlelo la kusaye kube ngangacambe manga ukuthi ngabe impilo yami ekuphi lamuhla, mhlawumbe ngabe bangakubantu balimete emotionally. Trying ukutama kuphila impilo le ngasiyami. But kwaba melula kuthi ngibe honest kibo. Then ngiqale ngidile nale situation yala khaya. It was not easy, I would say, at family level, because ngiyakhumbula ngayelanga umndeni wahlangana ngangatshelwa ukuthi bahlangene ekhaya. So I think it was one of the things that but then I worried ukuthi usabhilonga yini sesewethu yini, senanjani siyamthandazela yini. So at some point ngishaya bhuti wami lomunye ngiyambusela uthi awubuka besisekhaya idolo wasibenenani ekhaya sayimake bekasibitile nje sonke. So you don't want to ask your mom.
And awukabidwa wena lapho.
Ngabidwa mina lobhileko ngakule family.
Kukhona lele ngikuvile mawusho la ecaleni ukuthi uyakhumbula ukuthi at that point makwakho beka depressed and beka worried ukuthi esomfeni awusethi ngani. Ngolokweqe emaviki amabili naye umflo omdzala obabathu uzama ukukhulumisa ngalendzaba kakhona ukukhulumisa ngayo. Ngiyalo sekubitwa umhlangano. Welikhaya lonke awukho wena uva ngemva bethi lokusho ukuthi kahle hle bekuhlangene ngawe but ikhona la because singabe usesemumva la khaya.
Exactly.
I can imagine leyo difficulty leyo, but then ngenyalo sophumile ekhaya and ngiyakuva ukuthi inhlanhla yakho wakhona ukudila nesituation yasekhaya, however you did that. But then now wasuyaphuma wachubeka nempilo wayem17 wayemphakathini and now people were now aware ukuthi David ungumfumfulo kanje. Yabanjani reception lapho outside of the family setting?
I think looking at I think it was the leadership skills. It was easy for me to influence people or to make people believe me and understand the way I see things. So ngiyakhumbula ukuthi community yami bengahlali isikhathi esiningi because ngiphuma out, I think it was a little bit late because besengicala kuba independent, sengicala ngisebenta. So sengihlala kulenye izawo sengihlala uyatila asujawu udala kuyende kuphuma ekhaya khaye sokucashile lapha sohledi idute nematoho. So nangileso space so I had to start being me. I had to stand up for myself, like I had to explain what there was to explain. So ngiyathi ukuthi isikhathi esiningi thina abantu abagay bese sesibangase siyawa nje umhlaba wonke ngempendulo. So uhamba nje depressed. Sometimes mawuvuka ekuseni lana endlini uhamba ukugibela ikhumbi uyacabanga ukuthi ngabe lamhla bathi uthini baholele labangadi kunabe khona bakwadi nawuthuka ngibani nje la ndleleni ngibani ngitangibita ngemagama. Sometimes sigcina rebellious like noma la khaya khunywa nje joking lebacocela abantu konke kuyajika kube ngathi basho kimi. And ngiyakhumbula at some point ukuseka kwemasophis ebewasakhona ku-generations udlala. So family members had the right to comment about something labakubonako, and it doesn't mean ukuthi basho kimi or attached to me, but bengifuna bad bengilimata and ngiyabalimata vele abantu.
So now we are coming into now we get so pumila so sekaya and the battle is still going on. It goes on from Ekaya to M17 to the community la Pilakona, but then it goes further into Emma relationships. We do understand that gay men actually exist Eswatini, besisegu kipile as an individual, still your own experience. But people are out here and they're in relationships and a hatred, stigma, and discrimination in common society. But there's also gender-based violence among gay man, because we understand ukuthi abantu lababili mabathandana kunale sithi intimate partner violence, and I would like to believe ukuthi ikhona, ngingadi because mhlambe ngolonga nje ukuthi ikhona, and if ikhona, what have been your experiences? Have you experienced it on a personal basis, or uke wabona abangani bakho labandlule kuleso simo leso, and how is it handled by bona, the victims, the perpetrators, kanye nemango lokufuna ukuthi abaprotecte kulento timvo leto?
Okay, Matlalela, on that, I think it starts from stigma and discrimination at community. Ngingaba my social gatherings, my social spaces with my gay friends, whereby my hate speech like ebantwini. Probably laba abantu laba basebenzisa language abo straight, uthi straight, vele lokuyini, lokuvele sathane. All my hate speech lawo I hate back to ayabantu amagama lawo. Fana next time ngisho kumuntu uthi sidomu. Noma usidomu kuyaphukela enhlitweni. Ukhunjutwa ngema witnesses akho. Noma be uyingwadla awufuni khamba umenyetwa njengengwadla. Because konke lokho kuyakulimata inside. So ngasifaka kuthiwa bonke buhlungu enhlitweni Matlalela. So from that's where it builds up from. Lokho the community yakhuluma kusona umngane wami I was watching bafana ngelibhodlela sekulona social gathering labafana angathi bekadansela lapha bahleli lapha bajika nje libhodlela lamshaya la nyaweni, so it was a form of uyasinyaniswa niyasicina. So then from there nasekufika ngala kithi the intimate relationship whereby mina nginemuntu engithandana naye noma nginasipho engithandana naye noma na Thabo engithandana naye noma nginasandi lo muntu loyo engithandana naye. I think one thing lokhu discovered ukuthi we are born male at birth.
Yes.
So there are those men whose sentiments langalahleki like isobabili. So for an example, we also both want to be in charge, to be in control of us at some point. That's why we always encourage ukuthi abantu abagay bangabikani ngamafati nemadoda, because these are partners. These are people who should come to mutual agreement with things. Kanti ngeSwati kwathi bakuthi indoda yiyo elikhaya ngiletha uhola ngithi ayonda konke indoda lo muntu ohlala phansi kanti sikhaya sonke we are responsible, we are owning this relationship. So sonke sidama kubambisana, sonke sama kubeka imithetho, but singathi sivumene ngetinto lezi. So kanti ukuthi mala kithi there's kunabo lack of information vele ke kusithi ekseni lo muntu ufuna kuba submissive, lo muntu ufuna kuba ngetulo siyanyathana, lo muntu ufuna kuphakama, then sekusuka lo msindo webudlangudlangu bekufuna kulwa ke. Sesiyacabana, sesiyalwa ke, sesiyakhombana ke, sesiyaphushana. Ngiyakhumbula nje singayelanga because I'm now an activist, so ngiyaphusha indaba letona ngikhuluma ngato or tabo gender based violence amongst our people. So ngayelanga nje ngashayela ngaba ama colleagues sebalwe endlini, bahlala kanye kanye, munye uthenga umbhedo la endlini ne-fridge, sebayaxabana la endlini, lona sofuna kuphuma ne-fridge la endlini. Kunekudla ukuthenga ukuhlanganisela la endlini, ngeke ukudla ifruit liphume ebusuku. Noma sokufuna kuthatha umbhedo khona endlini. So kwaba ngilokucabana ngajwana ngema-TV la khathi endlini, and now tolamula awulamuli phela kuthula mina make nendoda lo la madoda la ngi2, and le damage iba severe, iba yimbi, siyibonile ukhanza abantu sigcina kubi vele le situation.
Yeah.
So
manje ingabe njengoba sesibonile ukuthi okay, so violence ikhona la, intimate partner violence even among gay people. So the question now becomes ingabe ifike ireceive kanjani? Ngicabanga ukuthi asengibekise lo muntu nango soyovula licala emaphoyiseni, amaphoyisa afika athende kanjani nango loyo muntu mhlawumbe soyesibhedlela umekisela uma bruises, nango lo muntu lo sothi ngabo counseling, nango lo muntu lo sothi ngalolu sitho la kuthi ngumuntu lo hlukubetekile, nikhanze njengebantu labagay eSwatini nikhona nisitakala kulento nhlangothi leto.
okay, so Zakhile befuna nje usikena kulama relationships, I think lokunye lokusibulele sine the gay, the lesbian community, the transgender community, lokusibeka kakhulu ukuthi ngale stigma lesikhona kwenta ukuthi konke tindzaba tethu tibe danganisense. Wena nje noma ke lenye jaha lehlukile kunami nathandana nenfombatane iyathandana ngesikhathi batane kangcono, emva kwale lihambe lo mfula bobhuti nabo sisi wakhe, emva kwale lihambe lo mfula kubatali bakhe, noma ngaba kamthatha Sakhile nakucatshwana kule relationship, akucatshwana lamuhla ngoba kunebantu laba involved laba influencer relationship, no decision awutendeli wena ngoba umbubo nakho ngene SMS inye lo ngayadi uconsider yonke labana bala le space aba involved ukuthi lapho sinochaza kumake lana sikwendekeni but ngala kithi kuba indzaba yami nje naSipho nakwente ngasicabana kumelula kuyeke la Sipho noma kushaya Sipho ngiphume kuye and for that reason nasikhuluma ngale values sikhuluma ngasikhuluma nje kuphela lex sengishaye ngedibhakela kunabo emotional kunabo financial ukuthi ngiyadlaleka la ngiyalimala lana ngiyaseleka lana ngoba utala kimi uyathi kuthi uyasebenza phela David awukhipha imali every time ngivakashe kufanele nginete imali 500 ngiyabhekisa so automatically relationship igcina siyawusponsana nabo kuthiwa health relationships unhealthy relationships because sibonile ukuthi la marriage nje lawa healthy nje
ngalokho ukuthi tonke timvoti tiyafihla tonke
timvoti tiyafihlwa vele info nje lendiwa umgugu ugcina ungadi honestly ugcina ungadi ukuthi kambe David ujola nabani because then ngoba siyafihla vele asifuna ukuexpose ngoba uyasaba la ukuthi utawuthi uyekhaya uyabika sasa buti umbona sela gcina sebenza lokho eceleni so unaloko esaba sibatha umukele endvele ekhaya ngilokhu na because as much as bangumukele lamhla ngiDavid ukuthi ngikanjena sabamukele nginabo bhuti mina nemajaha ekhaya ngikhulele nemajaha kwesimajaha nje nabo bhuti labanye so ngwegcina kibo at some point bagcina bamukele kuthi bele David ukanjena but ngiyati noma ngiyacabanga webhangi lothi nangisakhile ngithandana naye sengilenye level leyo the next nje siyamatu kanje but nangisakhile sengifuna ukuqala impilo naye le kanjena so lama doubts abaningi bethu abanawo so sigcina kubalekwa and ke amaphoyiseni sisazona amaphoyisa nawo agcina akukhaza indzaba lethu njengoba ngisho ukuthi umsoba activist sesibona sebusuku nami ngivictim yaloko so usakhile ngeke ngahamba ngaya amaphoyiseni sengicabene ngithandana naye kwaba kabi nje sacabana sahishana lokuhishana lokunormal lokuthi namake naba bebahishana vele sikubona but ngalokho sina songu2 lama homo zethu ahlukene sina sinebhotha futhi akhathi songu2 vele lokuhishana kwethu sometimes ugcine kuba bethu lofuna
uku-admit
kuvuma that's why ngithi kumcwa ukuthi ama relationships akhele emaqinisweni understand sibonisane kukhulunyiswana so nasibona amaphoyiseni kufanele report case amaphoyiseni sakhile ngishayile lana siyakubona ulimeleni bangani ethi hey ngihambe ebusuku angabuye ngibuye ekseni yabo kuthi cha manje amaphoyisa kuthi makuhambe ebusuku kunani sekuphume ecizo so kahle lana bemthetho siyathandzana nasakhile so ngihambile ngimjethi ngiyabuya but angabuye sengibe ngekseni sesisulu sesiyala uyayibona into ukuthi
kanje bafike bayithatha kanjani bona mawufika ubabikela lokho cause inyalo baya understand ukuthi ulimele kuqala ukuthi kunomuntu lokulimete but inyalo maso introduce lokuthi ukulimata ngokuthi ninebudlelwane ngokuthi niyathandzana sebakuthatha kanjani
I think for me bethuka amaphoyisa nawo ukukhuluma xolo bayithuka vele into ngedinzayo that's why siyafundisa kuthina bantu bangacabanga ukuthi nawufika ubeka story sakho bantu matabe bakuthathe ngandle ufuna bakuthathe ngayo nongaye esibhedlela nje sakhile ngoba phela ngalimala lapha ngoba tasingena Nazarene esibhedlela lokhu ngiyalima sifa ngeclinic apha eclinic bonke sibafunza lencwadi le iyasho incwadi ukuthi ipolice report ikhuluma iqiniso ayifihli kusho konke lokwendekile kuthula imali enjani uzotositakala so uyambona honest ukuthi unako lokuthi wena bontazo ufe nje kwende njani manje badana abaningi kangaka so kunekuvela buhlungu ukuthi utaze ufe nje manje banosaza babaningi ufelani so vele kukhona lokho si bana sengakafuni kwemukela kahle and vele ndawo usho ukuthi siphila even lesengikabi so friendly when it comes to lama issues ebana and siyathi ukuthi vele kuya embracewa ngiyawusezo siphusha livangeli lelikabi sisibese embraceani awu manje lokuthi nje sikhona nati kanti asifuni naloko sifuna kubhilonga nje ukuthi nendle mthatha ngayo sakhile nami ngithathe ngayo because nami ngiba ngathi ngiziswati nasakhile iziswati ungathi nje bamukele nje these are just other people laba la society we are not other people we are just people laba community I think naloko
Because embuto wami lulandzela kubeta ukuthi esikhathini esiningi sivamise ukufuna uku-addressa ema-community gatekeepers baholi bemimango baholi balo live ukuthi ingabe beyingathini i-advice yakho kuya kulabo bamvu labo mhlawumbe ukuthi David wena so experience because nakukhaya sebakumukela because what I'm hearing here is that bayati esikhathini esiningi hayi nokuthi bakumukele le tolerance ayikho so-ke ukuthi njenga-David noma ungaboni ngathi khulumela ukuthi weliphimbo lakho litovakala namuhla ungathini kulabo bamvu labo ama-community gatekeepers lokusho ukuthi baholi mhlawumbe tindvuna tetinkundla mhlawumbe-ke labo lababekiwe emimangweni kuthiwa bagijimi noma labo nje laba-representa imimango ukuze-ke ngoba kuhlathi ukuthi labo bamvu laba-influential emphakathini ukuthi bongathini kibo.
Okay, ngiyabonga Mahlale. I think on that it would be different because I think the approach imqoka indlela tawukhulumisa ngayo bo chief tindvuna itawuhlunga indlela tawufuna ukukhulumisa ngayo bafundisi bebabandla. Indlela tawufuna ukukhulumisa ngayo baqhuteli ingehluka ngendlela okhulumisa ngayo bahlengikazi baseclinic. But bonke labantu bengibabalako bantu labane impact laveni bantu lwade ungena lana ungena ngabo. So I think ngiyabekisa nje for etingudleni umqoka sikwenza job chief wenze tindvuna no job copho because lana sima tikwaye tinkinga tikhona kuthi sengifuna scholarship fanele ngicela ekucoba ngimikise ngale kunesayini ngamaphepha lenkudleni lapho enkudleni ukhathi angateki ngoba bengakhona ngesekwaneni uyandesa le stigma ukuthi ngicina ngisaba nekhamba ngesekwaneni ngoba kusivele ngiyathi ukuthi bayati labantu balakashaya ukuthi David ukanjani cabanga nasekugcwele bonke abantu baseswati okwemajali le hate ukuthi ngaba kanganani so ugcina vele withdrawa kule social gatherings nje abantu abaningi abagay lama social gatherings national fanele ngabe siyapha wonke participate akiyo uqonisele emuva uthi umuntu athi umbona phakasimane lo bafana ba youth club balapha babona bayibholeni uhlelelene endlini hayi usudede endlini ngumthatha kwasha but kunale self esteem siyati ukuthi abantu bakuthatha kanjani before kuvele ungithando wabahlalela balisa kuqala lokuthulala nabani society ndetha lo so ngisho mina ukuthi ngathi sinesele emsebenzi sina activities noma sibantu abagay at least nesesikhula khulile sinemsebenzi wokwendela kahle labantu bana labasaphuma labasetikolweni nalaba silandelayo ngemuva lokuthi sikubakhulumise vele baphathi emimangweni ukuthi yebo bonke abantu batele emhlabeni batele babesilisa but bantu bafila ngekuhlukahlukana bantu bathandana izinto ehlukahlukene and sekusikhathi esikahle lesi as level revolver kukuningi lokwendekako ukuthi bantu bafunze kumukela kuthi bantu behlukene emhlabeni banabalali nangekufana bantu balala ngokuhlukahlukana and silive nasifuna ukuchubeka siphumelele nasifuna kunqoba timbi lesibhenapho nasifuna kunqoba i-HIV ngiyabekisa nje nasifuna kunqoba i-HIV kufanele semukele ukuthi bantu balala ngokuhlukana and saphika le timbi tsadikho silive sibuyele emuva sawuchubeka sibulawa i-HIV nasifuna kunqoba kubuphuye eveni fanele si-understand sibantu behlukene bathandana ngokuhlukahlukana because nasi-avoida lokho ngeke sibamukele abantu sibacashe ngeke sifuna abantu basebenze ngeke abantu ngetikoleni batawona njani baya kuma-drugs bayokuye babebela thina emakhaya so asifuna ku-addressa le thing as a community we need to start understand i-diversity even at family level nebatali siyafuna sibakhulumise ukuthi make yebo umtele David angumfana but David uva ngalokuhlukile ngekhathi mhlawumbe David utiva angilohlukile mhlawumbe David uthanda bulilo obuhlukile nalo expectayo singayendi liphutha ukuthi siphushe abantwana kakhulu usasifune bawushada sibona imishado ibhidlika Mahlale sibona imishado iphela sibona bamake bakhala nebantwana basala emakhaya emadvosa ahamba ngoba simadvosa afila ngokuhluka ngekhathi but ngoba itolo make nababo walo mfana bamphusha shada phela shada basengeke sipho share ekhaya emahlathini sengathi lekhaya abanjwa ngomshado wami kanti lekhaya nje banjwa uNkulunkulu nami akudzinga ukuthi kuze kube nebantwana la khaya zekhaya libambene angathi ukuthi ngiyathi kona ukuthi kunekusena nakuqhubeka ukudala dini ngaqhubeka ukudala wena wanzisa umndeni but nako lokho nje uNkulunkulu imbe eplanile kude vele umlo ayishintshe.
Okay. Siyabonga kakhulu David isikhathi sakho ngiyeva ukuthi tiningi tindvo loba ngabe ufise ukudisho tiningi timvo lesinganza kito but ngiyajabula ukuthi imibuto yami lebengite nayo namuhla ungiphendvulile yebo kona le nkulumo ngathi singayichubekisela phambili but ngenxa yesikhathi angisale ngichubekela phambili ehambeni lami. Ngiyabonga kakhulu and ngiyathemba ukuthi ngijabula ukuthi uyi-activist umuntu lo khona ukuthi aphinde achubeke akhulume nalabanye sizame ukushintsha live ngale ndlela lekufuna lishintshe ngayo ukuthi bamfu labahlukahlukene bamukeleke nabo as people labakhona futhi lakangwane labaphilako laba-existako. Sibonge kakhulu. I guess sengidawuphuma nyalo, I'll be on my way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Having had this interview with David, I am starting to grow even more concerned about the issues around tolerance and acceptance by family, church members, even community members. Even now that he has grown and become independent, there are still worries of how he is going to be accepted should he want to receive health services at any health center or want to get justice from the legal system, as people only view him according to his sexuality instead of the needs that he might be seeking to get. Anyway, let us go to the next interviewee, hoping that they have a different perspective of what is going on in the country, or perhaps they will share different experiences.
So it's been a very, very cold day in Manzini despite the sun.
Tell me about it. I am just dying from all it's really affecting my nose.
No, I see.
Yeah.
Well, Lunga, can I take off my mask?
Yes.
Because I feel like I'm suffocating in this thing. But as you have heard, I called you earlier and we said we were going to have this conversation. So Helpless for Men, under a project that is being funded by Frontline AIDS, we have pretty much decided that we would like to intervene to sensitize the gatekeepers in the communities, and we also like to talk to members of the LGBTI communities. We have spoken to others before, but now we would like to talk to you as a transgender woman in the Kingdom of Eswatini, like speaking to matters of what are people's reactions really, in your experience, people's reactions after coming to the knowledge that maybe when you are transgender. I mean, you were not a woman at birth, and now here we are.
Oh, point of correction, female.
Yeah,
female.
Like, exactly. That is one of the things that gets confused. Woman, female, man, woman. Anyway, what are people's reactions according to what you have seen?
It's a whole lot of mixed reactions from people, honestly, because some people, they accept me and they love me, and then some people it's like, oh no, my religious or my cultural, aspects of me cannot allow me to accept you. So it's just a mixed reactions from people. So I personally, on my side, when they don't know that I'm trans, everything is well, everything turns out fine. But as soon as they know, it's a totally different story.
Then becomes a different story.
Yeah.
Okay, but then it is captured ekuthenini thina sibamfu labamaswati siyakholwa futhi sibamfu laba deep emasikweni. And I understand ukuthi lunga liswati wakamanyathi, right?
Yeah.
And lokho kwenda ukuthi besathi ekhaya khona simo sikanjani. Mangikhulumela ekhaya, I'm not necessarily talking about laba close nawe. Ngikhulumela ema extended family members, bomzala, bomalume.
I think for me, I was fortunate enough to have my grandmother accept me first, and then you know how there's a hierarchy in our families, and old people are generally given the utmost respect from like everyone. So they saw that she is comfortable with it, so they fell in line. But now when I go outside, it's a different story, because I will say I have a lot of cousins, and I'm close to almost each and every one of them, having different relationships with them. So with cousins, I'm good.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I understand that growing up, I'm not really sure how old you are. They say ladies don't tell. But I understand you get to a point you get to be a guma relationships. We have discovered that there's a lot of gender-based violence. Hi.
Can I offer anything?
Yes, can I? What are you having?
Cappuccino.
Can I have what she's having? Thank you so much.
Yeah, sorry about that. I almost got lost in the conversation. I think we're in a restaurant. But then I was asking Gogoguti on basis of being in a relationship. We understand with signable gender-based violence, signable intimate partner violence. And I understand that even a transgender woman does get into relationships. I mean, the LGBTI community actually are into relationships. So, how are the cases of gender-based violence, intimate partner violence, according to your experience? I'm not talking about statistics.
Oh, according to my experience, honestly, I haven't had a partner who's ever threatened me in that way.
Okay.
Reason being, I'm very picky. And I think that helps me a lot because I don't just like accept anyone with a proposal for me. I have to first screen out who you are as a person because I think it's vital for you to know the person that you want to share your intimate details with. So I think that has helped me prevent a lot of things.
Prevent a lot of things, but that is on your side.
Yeah, that is on my side.
I do not want to believe that wonke umumfulo transgender kangwane has been as lucky as you
I
are.
know.
And when Aguma here says and in the working environment, what has been the atmosphere?
Okay, speaking of GBV, I'm not really. I know I look like maybe I could be like a social person who knows like everyone, but like I haven't heard anyone, honestly, in my opinion. Oh, I have. I'm lying. Just like a few hours ago, we're having a conversation, and this one lady was telling me how her partner was strangling her, and it was like by luck that someone knocked on the door and he got off of her. So yes, there are cases.
There are cases.
Yeah, there are cases.
And in your aspect, are these cases ever reported? And uma reportwa emaphoyisa wona ngekwathi kwakho asatha kanjani mhlawumbe noma ngaba esibhedlela lo muntu loyo, what is the reception?
Oh gosh. Okay, now the thing is we have our focal people.
Thank you so much.
You know, we have our focal people that we can go to now. It wasn't like this before, but now when you go to the police, we do have a contact person that you know, I'm at the police station, please help me. I know that they will not help me if I just come here and be like, I'm trans and I have this issue, because then now the stigma discrimination will arise that you're trans, so how are you saying another man, because they view us as men, as trans women, how is it that you want to come here and report something as a man and then you're saying they're abusing you? It doesn't make sense to them. So we have that challenge. But now what happens is, even when it comes to healthcare, we do have nurses in one of the big hospitals somewhere who you can call when you're there and be like, hey, I got your contacts from maybe a CBO, and then it's easier now.
It's easier now.
Now, yes. But I'm not saying everyone knows this information, because it's only maybe people around town that are aware of these people that they can talk to, but people in the rural areas, they don't know. They do not know. I doubt they even know that there are organizations that can help them. So we really have to. We're doing as much as we can to send out the information out there that we are here, we can help you, and so forth.
Okay, but then is it really enough? Because I mean, if kutoba netinkinga angibekise etindzaweni letisesethe ngamaphoyisa saying well, law is supposed to be enforced. Ngiyacabanga ukuthi there's also problems and issues etindzaweni lapho khona ukufuna ukuthi asengibekise health is supposed to be enforced. Issues of HIV, issues of you going to the hospital and they say I understand that being transgender means that your genitalia is still the same. Imagine going for a prostate checkup and standing a line in Labobabe. How exactly is our health staff sensitized enough to attest to this?
Oh gosh, I won't lie, it's still a problem, because it goes as far as using restrooms as well, because you know, when you're trans, you don't really belong to societal boxes of woman and man, because women will feel like, oh, this is a man that is saying to us that he, because they always say that is a woman. How? Because he has, and then it's like, even on the male side, like take for instance me, like I'm very feminine and I don't present male at all.
Yeah.
So where do I go to? This is what we're still working on as well, to have gender neutral wards, gender neutral bathrooms, so we're not saying we want to be treated special, but then we have come to the terms that we do not fall in any box, so one must be created for us, and we are the ones that can pioneer such movements.
Things. Okay.
Yeah.
But then now I understand that pioneering such things would mean we have to be in touch with my community gatekeepers.
Yeah.
My community gatekeepers being that is
Yeah.
and also going into bafundis, because those are also community gatekeepers and my leaders and
Yeah.
Now I want to know from your perspective, if you were to say something to those people who are watching you right now, what would you say? What is your opinion?
Well, I just think people should focus on what they came here to do here on earth. And when I say here, I mean here on earth. You cannot tell me how I feel inside, because I am the one who is going through whatever I say I'm going through. So if I'm telling you that inside I am a woman, but then my genitalia speaks otherwise. So now, we're not, as humans, you cannot tell another human that, oh, this is right, this is wrong, according to who has the moral compass, who makes up these laws and rules. People do. So what I can urge people to do is spread love, have human compassion, and I cannot stress this enough. People need to find hobbies or something to do. The reason that stigma and discrimination is so high is people don't have anything to do, honestly. People are living a routine life and they think, oh, this is the life. Not all of us are meant to get a job, do that. It's not uniform. Life has no book or guideline. We take what we can, we take what we're given, and we expand it or we contract it. It's all up to you. Your life is yours and yours alone.
I see. Well, thank you so much for your time. I think I've learned a lot in such a short amount of time. I mean, coming to consideration that at least we now would say you were accepted in the home, especially by Gogo that actually sort of settled down the situation at home because of the hierarchy. That is why I had to bring in Lenza by my community gatekeepers. And as much as info I understand, I wish I would right? It is a matter of tolerance, because one thing that I can attest to is that people are aware of the LGBTI community. It's a matter of tolerance or maybe acceptance. So then I would like to play a game with you. Which one are you exactly looking for as an individual? I don't want to say kulumela onge ema transgender women Eswatini or transgender men, but are you looking for acceptance by society or are you looking for tolerance? Which one suits best?
Tolerance for me. Honestly, I do not live to be accepted by another human who has problems just like I do, who's facing life like I am facing, because all of us are trying to reach for some goal that we have in mind, whether it's a family one, whether it's a career one, whether, I will not look for acceptance from anyone, because honestly, I didn't come here for people, I came here for myself.
Okay.
So tolerance for me.
Tolerance.
Tolerance.
Okay. Now this has been a very interesting conversation for me. Well, I'm going to continue asking out other LGBTI community members to have the same conversation, and I think that talking to you has been very helpful. That is very insightful, and thank you so much for your time. I hope we get to talk again soon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for everything.
All right. Okay, so this has been my second interview for the day, and common go my interviews. All I'm getting here is people's reception is mostly negative. Babingumbi are not necessarily welcoming to the LGBTI community. LGBTI community, but stigmatized. They are actually different from the general public. And things are taking a spiral a bit different now. So my next guest is going to be a parent now. I want to talk to a parent who either has bamfana from the LGBTI community or connected nabo noma emphakathini, because I have questions for the parents, because bobabili ema guest bakhulume ngokuthi ke indzaba yema elders ekhaya, ema elders emphakathini actually have questions or are the ones who are taking it hard to bear a timo leti njengaleti. So let's go and find out ukuthi umdali uthini. Let us find a parent for this next interview. Stay tuned.
We ran into the sun. We ran into
Phila noma ke mama sikona function endlini. Alright, manje sesifikile ngathi noma besingakhona yini ukukhulumisana, ngazi ngakhulumisana ngakhazi noma ngaphandle. Ngazi ngakhuluma la ngaphandle. Okay. Alright, so ngicela sithathe isitulo. Athi utosithathela isitulo uthi uva ngathi singakhulumela la ngaphandle. Ngimakeke lona lesimkhethele njengemdala esitabe sikhuluma naye namuhla ekuthenini yena ngabe as a parent utiva kanjani nema opinions akhe. Okay, ngiyabonga ma. Ukhona lesinye isitulo singala. Okay. Okay, sithenza kubonga kakhulu kusamukela make mnisi ekhaya lakho njengoba besilo sisitawufika sitokhuluma ngala indzaba yabamfana laba ku LGBTI community. Yamake kunendzaba lana lematima lengikhanze mangikhuluma nalabanye abamfana noma nalabanye bamfu labo kuyona le community ngakhanza ukuthi baneke ukuthi bamfu labadzala emphakathini emangweni akusiko info labayithatha noma labayinambitha kalula. Kepha ke sesinalo lwadi ukuthi unayo umfana loyingcenye labamfu laba la ku LGBTI community. Ngicela ukuva imivo yakho njengemntali ukuthi wena uyaye observe yini lo soyibonile so far i-experience yakho ekukhuliseni umfana we-LGBTI community kube yinvo le kanjani?
Okay, ngiyabonga ukuthi nifike namuhla ndongivusela and kimi ngithanda nje ukuthi ngiyabonga kakhulu. Ngicishe bengisolo ngifisilele thuba lenjengaleli. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Mina lengakusho nje my experience ukukhulisa ngicala ekukhuliseni ukukhulisa umfana lo angithi nje lo gay.
Yes.
Yeah, lo gay because my own gay. So ngakhanza ukuthi kumatima kakhulu especially ku community. Because ku community nawe utikhanza soba discriminated. Nawe as a parent. Because kungathi udala umfana lo usathana yabona. Kuba naloko in community utawufundisa abantwana labanye usathana. Vele babita ngekuthi bamademon ngasho kanjalo. So ngikhanze kubuhlungu kakhulu and ke phindze kube buhlungu kakhulu nakuwe nawe as a parent nawe understand ungamukeli. Akusilula nje lokuthi umukele because now utala umfana lo ngumfana now uba nema expectations ukuthi maybe ngalenye la utakulethela amagodi and the stuff but ukhanze ukuthi akusabi kanjalo kuyabida kubida ukuthi bese nawe uyafundiseka ukuze ukuthi ukhona kumemukela. Mina nje ngabekisa nami nje ngacontributor kakhulu in a bad way ukuthi nje ngikhuluma into etingasito as a parent ngizama ukuthi ngiyamnyanyekisa because lengcondo ayimukeli lokho ukuthi lo mfana nami ngimdele anje ke ngathi nje sokophile sokope khona imkhutshana la sayikophile lengasi right uyabona but ube wathi kahle deep down nje ngangathi ukuthi lo mfana nami ngimdele anje uyabona but nje akumukeleki malula. So kuba kuningi vele lokuhlukubeteka lokuqhamuka kithi ezibabadala babo kanti kithi umfana ubheke support ubheke ukuthi ngimsupport because i-society ayimdingi nayingamdingi mina phela I must be there as a parent because in the true sense kude umbhini lo ngomfana wamlahla khona kuso lona ngidela umfana lo different ngona ngimlahle lapha there is no pain for that. So kufuna ukuthi umukele ubese soyamsupport la ungakhona kumsupport khona but ke lengubonako kuze kube manje abemukeleki. Yes, abemukeleki.
Kepha wena ke njengoba nyalo namhlanje sesikhuluma nawe nje la kunaleti indzaba ukuthi sowukhonile kumemukela seniphila naye ekhaya njengemntali. What did it take for you to get to this point ukuthi athi kuthini lona ngumfana nami akunamgqoma la ngitamlahla khona yindlela yakwenda ukuthi uze ushintshe kwase ukuthi ojeke elithawula noma kwaba netimo letadala ukuthi ushintshe?
Yeah, ngiyabonga kubuta lo mbuzo. Mina lokho angenda kuze ngishintshe kuthi kukhona isikhathi bekukubi kakhulu between me and him ngoba vele bese le relationship yami naye bese ngasiyole kahle kwaze kwaba khona nje one of umfana bhutwami babe siyamthatha as wakhe yabona because abona lempilo ukuthi ilikhuni vele angifuni lutho yabo ngize ngibe nemagama yose iGomora neSodom bese iGomora neSodom kimi understand ngithatha phi ke ngithatha eBhayibhelini ukuthi iGomora neSodom kwendekani then so kwakulikhulu kakhulu impilo yethu naye so kwathi ngalenye langa I think naye waba brave enough noma ke bese atsiniwe lobuhlungu lengimvisa bona njengemdala waba like make ngicela sikhulume nakhona lapho it wasn't easy for me ngaba like no angikhuluma nje nawe ngikhuluma nawe ngoba vele njengoba ngisho bese nginomfana loyo yabo lese angasamfana losonzele nami yabo so nasilala phansi wangikhumbuta ukuthi make ngicela sikhulume lapha nasukhuluma onke lamagama ewabitako washo ungivisa buhlungu kakhulu because mina vele make I'm gay and wena make uyakwati lokho yabo uyakwati ukuthi mina ungitele nje yabo and then ngakhumbula ke ngikhumbula ngithatha lesimo sakhe ngisibisa kimi vele I'm a person living with HIV and ngase ngibuyisa kimi ukuthi nangigula mina mhlambe ngigula sengile stage lesibi kakhulu makwama kazange angilahle instead makwama belele namphasa emphethe lapha esibhedlela yabona so kwabuya lokho ukuthi okay no uqinisele umfana nami and ude lomunye make ngimi I have to stand for him ngilapho ke ngabe sengiyasukuma phansi but ngamcela nje sizonginike isikhashana lokucabanga nami ngendlulise nangabe kubita singikhale kwenza yabona so ke wanginika ke isikhathi then ngase ngiyambita ukuthi okay my son seng right I will support you.
Okay. So ke manje ngiyakuva sokufikile esigabeni sokuthi nihambe cisho onkana lama phases ukuthi ngiqale nangevani wangamconzi kwaze kwafika sihlobo sangephandle samthatha kuwe wena lo wahela wamthwala 9 months so give up ile ngaye but kwaba netimo lapho khona sothola ukuthi athi kuthini asenge ngiyiphindlebe ngimlaleli kepha ke leso akusiso simo lesikhanza kuwo wonke umuntu lomdala emphakathini kunebatali nalamuhla lokhu laba sesikele sigaba sokuthi abahlali nabo labamfana abakhulumi nabo laba in fact ababa concede ukuthi babamfa babo but thola nje ukuthi bona baphudluka mhlambi noma babola emathumbu so umuntu wami utheneni ke nyalo uma kungathiwa uniketana lelithuba lokuthi ukhulume nalabo batali labo laba la emphakathini laba la emangweni because lengikutholile ukuthi ema stakeholders or rather ema gatekeepers emiphakathi lokufaka ekhathi bafundisi induna letinkundla boshifu ubuqopho labo akusibo bamvu noma ke abantu labadzala emphakathini kusibona laba bamukelako bamvu laba gay noma laba bisexual lesbian and otherwise ungathini kibo labantu labadzala labo kuze bafikela la sokhona wena namuhla bangenda kanjani
ngiyabonga for lo mbuzo lo and kimi kusenhlitweni yami kakhulu ngikuphuka futhi nelezinga laba ukhanze ukuthi labantwana laba ma hip hops labadala ngathi because there is no support ekhaya kula kimi lokho ukuthi kusita labanye badala ukuthi babe empowered njengami though kungasiko lula but we have to try something kukhona lesitawuphuma nako kubakhulumisa and ngilengunaka ngebantu especially bomake badali nje kulesimo lesi abadinga ukuthi sibaphaphele we have to give them time uyamkhulumisa uyambona ukuthi usengakafuni kuva lutho umyekele ungamkhahlamede ungamjaki unikete isikhathi and then phinze futhi utihluphe ngathi umlanzelele ungamjaki utawuze naye amukele because there's no other way lokumcoka ukuthi simukele vele because nangilomfana kodwa umthini udzinga wena vele as wena mntali wakhe hayi lo munye umfana and futhi ke ngiyengikhanza ukuthi kulikhuni ukuthi kubhlungu umfana wakho atahamba ayo declare status sakhe kulomunye umuntu next door or noma kulesinye store than you as a parent ngcono ukuthi ube ngilomntali lo kahle kubantu abakho yakubona ube nale soft heart kubo bonke abantu abakho ngabakhethi akhona umfana wakho kubhoboka kuwe than ukuthi ahamba ayobhoboka ngaphandle lokho kubabhlungu kakhulu mina nje lengakusho ngathi mina lengakusho kubadala ngasho ukuthi ngiyathi khona ukuthi ngoba ngidlule khona kusikulu kunganganani but noma kulikhuni wakho lomfana yes wakho lomfana udzinga wena futhi
hayi no kuyavakala make siyabonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho siyabonga kakhulu nokusishare le information lena ngijabula lokho ukuthi ngikhuluma nemomvu hayi lo vabethi ngikhuluma nemomvu londlulekiso lesimo sibonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho make kuxoxisana nawe sitahamba sobuka phansi kulabanye phambili sive ukuthi bona engabe bathini ngibonga kakhulu make
thank you siyabonga.
Tonight we run. ran into the sun.
Okay, kule lenjana lesiphetha kuba nayo nyalo, we just observed ukuthi batali are actually willing to accept, but there's a lot that has to come into place uma ngabe batali kufanele bamukele itimule njengaleti, njengoba sathi ukuthi eSwatini live lelihlonipha kakhulu. So kuyayidingeka ukuthi umtali umncenge ukhulume naye nokuthi atfole le level of understanding thite. Lona litali siphetha kukhuluma naye ngumtali osakhonile kusemukela yena lesimo, but so ngisadle iqiniso lithi akusibo bonke batali abakhona ukumukela lesimo lesi. But ke info lesifuna nyalo is an expert opinion ngokuthi ingabe vele what triggers the hatred, stigma and discrimination emphakathini nakubo batali labakhanza badibene nesimo lesi kanjena mhlawumbe emphakathini noma khona emakhaya. So now what we are going to do is that we are going to go consult a psychosocial support officer, somebody who has an expert opinion with an understanding of the LGBTI community. Asambe.
Amin. Yes, misalnya sudah siap tidak butuh hujan. Siap tidak no. No. Single sweet. Okay.
Kunjani ke Mdlalo?
Siyaphila msebenhlali kanjani?
Siyaphila ngazo futhi ngiyabonga kungemukela la ehoffice lapha noma ngayikhumulani mask.
Yes, free food ngayikhumula.
Okay, ngoba se social distancing. Yeah, babe njengoba bengishido ke kama ukuthi sitawufika la ngitawufika ngitobuta naye imibuto lemicoka nyana senda ukuthi umumfloke wakhuluma noma lokho wasebenzisana nebamfu laba ku LGBTI community futhi nakwanyalo sasebenza nabo angithi. Yes. Ngithitheke kubabukeli bami emakhaya, you are an expert opinion. Ngicela usichazele ukuthi you are expert in which field exactly?
Okay, ngiyabonga kakhulu msamahlalela for the opportunity. If nangabe sikhuluma nge-expert opinion, shothi I'm from the field of psychology. I'm a psychosocial support officer. Shothi nje siningedelela psychological psychological services to our clients. In the form of psychosocial support. Psychosocial support is diverse. It has a lot of facets and specifications. So ngazi basically nje kungaba ngiloko msamahlalela.
Okay, so all right, indzaba ke le entekile la ukuthi namhlekuseni masivuka with the team sihambile sawuvakashela members of the LGBTI community with the opportunity to see a gay man endlini kakhe sathi masuka lapho sesihamba sayobona a transgender woman babeke ama issues zabo nabo, and then we went to the extent ukuthi sale siyobona umtali of a gay member of the community. Bonke babe nema views nema concerns lahlukahlukene, but they had one thing in common. Lapho khona sikhanze ukuthi they have challenges, especially in being who they are emphakathini. They have challenges in being accepted, in being tolerated. There are always questions, there's always hatred, stigma and discrimination. Kunekubagceka nekubazonda ne-violence leyayibe khona even kuma relationships abo, mhlambe kuma intimate partner violence issues when it comes to issues of gender-based violence. And I understand ukuthi njenge psychosocial support officer or a psychologist uyaye ukhansele bamfu labakule simo leso. So umbuto wami kuwe ataba ukuthi what have been your experiences except specifically nalabamfu labak LGBTI community ukhanze tinkinga leti kanjani ene uyadehisha kanjani?
Okay, ngiyabonga msamahlalela. It is very true what you've just said. There are a lot of problems to the members, specifically to the members of the LGBT community. Because babantu lo thola ukuthi kulabaneng babo they are still in the closet and they don't want, or maybe they are not given the platform to come out or to show who they are. So you find that like a lot of problems labanawo, they just bottle them to themselves. Bakhona maybe kuwakhiphela ngaphandle noma ke kuwa reporter kufanana na the general population. So our experience like working with LGBTI community members was that see there are a lot of problems of gender-based violence. And gender-based violence, as we all know, or maybe as we might know, it comes in different forms. Kunama forms gender-based violence, to name them, kuna physical form, then we have the emotional form, then we have the sexual form, and so on and so forth. So cases maybe kulesihlangabetane nawo, they just range kulama forms of gender-based violence. Then we have labo intimate partner violence, because as we all know, members of the LGBT the LGBT community, nakhona akhona ema relationships, they tend to mingle with different people whom they love, whom they express maybe their affection or their emotions towards. So akhona nakhona lapho kukhona nje kushayana lokukhona lokukhulu then ukhanza ukuthi bayihluleka ukureporta, because if they come to the law enforcement officers, the instead of attending to the crime specifically, they tend to pick on themselves, on their personal perspectives. They tend to pick on them individually, how do they present themselves. So then the whole issue is about the crime that has been committed. Ibesa seyiba kuthi like mina ngikanjani ngimuntu flow kanjani. So due to that reason, then we have more under reporting uthola ukuthi like these things matendeke le khashana lengaphandle kube betelo tibona. So we also have more emotional cases like more emotional abuse cases ngasho kanja. So like whereby ukhanza ukuthi kunabo stigma, kunabo discrimination, which then perpetrates to hate speech, insults, derogatory terms, lo uthola ukuthi maybe babese bababita ngawo langehle kahle. Then all of that bese kubeka an emotional stain ku each and every one of them, because into lekhulunyiwe ifike ihlale Mr. Mahlalela, as we all know, it is unlike like to inflict pain to someone, maybe physically. Then the emotional aspect is a very, very crucial and imperative aspect of the human being. So it leaves lama stains. Then kuna cases about sexual abuse, like whereby kuna cases about rape, or it is historical rape, like maybe when they got and then akuzange kukhonakala ukuthi ku report. So if nasa reporter nyalo, then it becomes a serious problem, because like sekuhleli isikhathi lesize, and then can you imagine maybe the implications it has caused to this particular person. Okay. So kungaba maybe nguloko Mr. Mahlalela. Then we also have other cases whereby you find that kuma healthcare services, kuma healthcare workers, the members of the LGBTI community, they face very, very, very serious problems when it comes to Gubo to come and access Emma healthcare services, because instead of them being given the service as they ask for it, Emma healthcare workers, they also tended to pick on those individuals in terms of their appearance. Okay, like when ukanje ubukeka ngathi mhlambe umuntu lo kanje, then ufind ukuthi like this person is then spooked abe angasabuyi to access those services, or else uthola ukuthi uyahamba futhi angakayitholi naleyo service. Then that becomes a problem when it comes to issues about HIV and AIDS. Lesolo maybe silwa nawo, and it has been a long time solo kuliwa na HIV and AIDS. And then so if these people by Chigabanga told the service, they go out and continue to spread like whatever illness maybe they treat her as pedal.
So I'm getting that you've just listed a whole bunch of Emma challenges la corner and a whole bunch of types of abuse that they experience just on one component of either being gender-based or intimate partner violence. So involengi understand when yalola ukuthi tineng letinginga letikon and etonke noma incumbi yato they root from a rather inzabe ukuthi they are not being tolerated, they are not being understood, or they are not being accepted. So umbuto wami bekungaba ukuthi ingabe wena ucabanga ukuthi lemfe ukuthi bangamukeleki noma lemfe ukuthi bangatolerateeki iqhamuka kuphi? What is the cause vele yini lenta umphakathi ngoba sivile kusingasemaphoyiseni umchazele ukuthi kendeka emaphoyiseni angakhona ukubona lo budlwangudlwangu noma lobucala lobentekile but babuke lo mumfu lesicu sakhe noma lo mumfu ukuthi ume kanjani noma wendani kanjani uphila impilo yenu yabo. So I'm just asking ukuthi ingabe kuyaye kubangwini mfo leyo ukuthi bangakhona lokumukela noma loku-assista ebamvu ngandlela funa baba-assiste ngayo labachama kule community.
Okay, siyabonga that question Mr. Mahlalela. Empeleni if nangabe sibuka nje kulama cases and then sibuka the state of affairs kithi in the African society or in the African setting, siyathola ukuthi a lot of things besi ngatati and then a lot of things besicabanga ukuthi into letiqhamuka ngeshiya kwethlwandle or from other cultures, maybe other people, they just impose these things to us. Yeah, but can see the real deal here or the real issue or else being as the truth is homosexuality ngasho kanjani. Homosexuality has long been there. It has been there since time immemorial, but then just because kithi thina as Africans ikakhulu bese kubuka ngathi kuyinto yakhashane because due to culture, due to politics, bothola ukuthi like these things are suppressed and then they are like betendiwa ngathi tingavalwa tilihlazo, or maybe they are taboo, or else maybe like kuyi-behavior lesingakayijwayeli and then letasonela abantu letawona live letawona i-region or kuyi-behavior letawona i-continent. So kuna those specifications maybe la khona like and but sengingathi ikakhulu kuyi-culture yethu nje sibantu labansundu kuthi okay thine we were channeled kuthi thine we know that ema-relationships or else noma ke ema-interactions la permitted kungilawa la heterosexual whereby umuntu utawuthandzana nalomnye umuntu webulili lobahlukile, hayi ukuthi umuntu athandzane nomuntu webulili lobufana nabo. So like sonke sikhule sati lokho kanti in the actual sense noma in the actual fact things are not like that. Things are not black and white. Things also come in shades of grey. So I think kuna that problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now sanguvile konke lokulungifulela kona nyalo, but now I need your point of view. Wena nyalo sesivile kokuthi uke waba-attenda bamvu mhlambe labahlukubetekako bahlukubetanye kwebulili noma baqhamuka kiyo i-LGBTI community sesibonile ukuthi yini lokubanga lokho ukuthi bahlukubeteke and esikhathini esiningi ushito wakothi-ke bavamise ukufihla etimvuleni. I know there's someone right now from the LGBTI community who is watching this and saying how kanti bantu bayasitakala. Basitakala kanjani? How does a person from the LGBTI community noma-ke umtali wemphana lo LGBTI community, how do they access lolu sito lolu offerishako wena as an expert? Because kunemtali esidibene nayo lothina wakwamukela but kwaba indlela elukhuni. Are there ways of making it a smooth transition or a smooth journey for umtali ukuthi agcine amukele umfana, ngoba siyabona ukuthi kuyasita ngasikhathi sakamukelekile ikakhulu kade ekhaya. Asikhulumise indzaba yemfana nemtali laba affected noma laba lakhatsi kule LGBTI community. Basitakala kanjani ke laba mfana?
Okay, thanks for the question, Mr. Mahlalela. Kule singakudeclare maybe as even ukuthi like ilusito lukhona and ilusito lu available and then ilusito lu accessible. Lebe kukhona maybe it's just that besileka maybe the knowledge ukuthi like singalithola lusito with regards to this. And then lengibone kukhona mhlambe kune gap lekhona mhlambe yekuthi maybe singadi ngetinto noma singabe educated about other things. So go access maybe these services kuyasita ukuthi ube educated and then to facilitate that smooth transition empilweni nje ukuthi iqhubeke ibe kahle nasekhaya, kube khona kwemukelana and then kube khona nekuphilisana ekhaya. So kubatali I can say that they can reach for help, and then kuma members ayo LGBT community ngingasho ukuthi they can reach for help. We have like institutions like organizations that presents this help to the LGBTI community. And then our services are specifically tailored for LGBTI's like community, and then again my parents look and other family members are affected. As we all know, psychosocial support is broad. It is not about the affected or the affected individual or the victim, but then it is also about the people who are related to this particular person, so they can reach for help. Then we facilitate maybe Emma dialogues, like on a sessions, see tolerate different points of views. Then sipuma maybe nale solution, because everyone are clear, are on the same page about everything. Maybe let's see Mr. Mhlalelo.
Okay. No, thank you so much, Gama. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your opinion. You have shared just about maybe not enough but sufficient information ukuthi bamvu wena uyibona kanjani, what has been your experience and what causes everything that is happening. Ukuthi bamvu lisito likhona. Now I have the knowledge, we are aware and singakhona ukuthi sibasithi. So thank you so much for your time. Ngidawucela indlela mbokane ngisale ngihamba babe. Thank you so much for having me. All right. Okay, sesivile ke imibono yebamvu from the LGBTI community. Sesivile nama experiences abo, sesivile nama challenges abo. Lokunye lesesikuvile yi-expert opinion eqhamuka psychosocial support officer. Lothite yena ngekubona kwakhe it is the lack of understanding. Samuva nemtali futhi okuqhamuka khona emphakathini, umtali longeva ngemva bethu, umtali lokhulisa umfana from the gay community. Kepha ke lesingakakuva ngumbukeli ekhaya ukuthi yena ucabanga ukuthi what are the challenges, what are the solutions, ithini comment, ithini suggestion. So go to our social media platform at Help Us for Men Swaziland ku Facebook na Help Us for Men-Eswatini on Instagram. Lapho khona ungafike ushiye i-comment enembono wakho noma ke umuvo wakho ngayo yona lenzaba lesithingitsako namuhla la. Sale kahle ke mbukele emakhaya, sesitogatsa ema comments akho lapha ku Facebook.